Hello, my name is Kyle Templin, and welcome to my UMUC Data 620 Spring 2017 Assignment 9.1 presentation on time series forecasting with Tableau. For my time series, I chose to observe the domestic box office for the 7 major studios: Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony Pictures, 20th Century Fox, Paramount, Universal, and Lionsgate. The reason I chose this data was because I wanted to see if there was any factors that could affect the domestic box office. I also wanted to look at how the major studios compare to each other over the years in terms of total box office. And finally, I really enjoy movies, as do many, since they offer enjoyment to millions, and I like observing how individual movies can affect the total box office share. This data was chosen and compiled from 2006 to 2016. The first trend I wanted to observe was to see if any correlation existed between the unemployment rate in the US and the domestic box office. As you can see, there appears to be no correlation between the two. The box office trend over 10 years is a gradual slope up and down, while unemployment is more variable with larger upward spikes and a slope down. In fact, one interesting point I noticed was in the year 2009. The United States had one of its highest unemployment rates at 9.28%. However, the box office had one of its most successful years in the past 10, with an overall $10.1 billion brought in at the box office. And this was due to large box office releases such as Avatar, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. When looking at future predictions, I am fairly confident that the unemployment rate will remain fairly constant, and there is a possibility for a slight downward trend at the box office. However, there appears to be no correlation between the two. The next trend I wanted to observe was, can median household income in the United States affect the box office? When observing this trend, you can see there tends to be a more consistent trend between the two variables. Median income is a gentle slope and tend to follow a similar trend with the box office. For instance, in 2011, the median income was $53,223, and it is one of the low points on the chart. Also in 2011, the box office saw one of its lowest totals in just under $8.5 billion. Is this a trend or a coincidence? Given the estimate that shows median household income staying fairly consistent and level and box offices declining, I would have to assume that it is a coincidence. For my next trend, I wanted to see how each movie studio was doing individually. As you can see, generally Warner Brothers has consistently had the most total box office numbers, with Disney growing over the past few years, since they have acquired the Marvel and Star Wars franchises. One interesting trend is the estimate for Disney shown in the future. It shows a decline in the coming year, which seems highly unlikely with their many upcoming Marvel and Star Wars projects. This leads me to my last slide, which is just a fun way at looking how market share changes over the years. I found it very interesting how specific movies can affect studio share. For instance, in 2009, Warner Brothers had the largest market share because of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Also, in 2013, market share was more widespread because of Warner Brothers' The Dark Knight Rises, Disney's The Avengers, and Lionsgate's The Hunger Games. Finally, in 2015, Universal went toe-to-toe with Disney because of Jurassic World, which competed nicely with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Here are a list of the sources that I used to compile my data. So, in conclusion, what I have observed at box office trends seem to entirely relate to the releases that the studios produce. People love movies and will find a way to see them, given if they are unemployed or their household income is low. Thank you for your time, and see you at the movies.